I get a lot of questions from viewers, so I figured I'd answer some of them today. The first question comes from Gale in my Discord, and he wants to know how to counter aggressive plays. This is a tricky subject, no doubt, so we first need to clarify what we mean by aggressive plays. I think there are three types of aggressive plays. One where the whole team pushes you and takes over a site, one where one single person is aggressive, and one where either a specific player is aggressive or the whole team is, and they do it consistently. If we're talking specifically about defending against a 5-man push, then I think communicating with your teammate that's holding with you is step 1. See if you can set up some sort of quick crossfire, or if one of you peeks off the other one's contact. Remember that it gotta be quick, so we don't have time for any advanced setups. I also believe you shouldn't be afraid of falling back in situations like this. Maybe put some pressure back by using a damage dealing ability, or something like a KO knife, and then falling back to a safer position, where you still have some sort of control but you aren't risking your life. Let your teammates come help you and then re-engage. If it's a single person pushing consistently, then I think just try to identify their habits and don't give them easy 1v1s. The aggressive enemy is looking for free 1v1s to then fall back quickly. But if you keep your distance and play off of your teammates, then you're gonna have no issues dealing with that aggressive enemy. I think that in general, identifying the enemy's habits and how they usually like to push is a really good first step. And then you can either start playing more passively or always going with a teammate so that you can trade each other when you die. And if it's the first round where the enemies are being really aggressive, then just try to fall back still. As a defender, it's usually really unnecessary to take fights where it's a 50-50 if you're gonna win or not. So try to always have the advantage before taking a fight. Do I have any tips for Bladestorm? Yeah, so the number one tip I have has to be to take advantage of the fact that you can move and shoot. I see far too many people stand still and use their knives instead of moving around at the same time, making them harder to hit. I think you have the perfect opportunity to be a little bit extra aggressive when you're using your ult, since you can jump around and kill people mid-air. So attempting some crazy plays with your Bladestorm equipped can be really effective. How do you counter smurfs? This is a really hard question to give a definitive answer to, but the first thing you need to know about facing smurfs is that you should never think of the enemies as smurfs. If you do think of them that way, then you'll automatically lose a lot of confidence and probably get tilted as well. Even if someone is getting 40 kills, that doesn't guarantee the fact that they're smurfing. They could just be having a really good game or be better players. But if you're suspecting that you're facing a smurf, then I think the easiest way to defeat him is by defaulting on attack and not taking unnecessary duels on defense. If you can try and always be close to at least one other teammate, or hold safe angles, then you're gonna have a way easier time countering him. Smurfs will obviously be really confident, so they usually play aggressive, which can give you pretty much a free kill if you notice that habit and play around it. Holding places where they've pushed in the past and not giving away 1v1s to the smurf will make it a lot harder for him to frag out. Does playing Valorant at a certain time of the day affect your gameplay? If yes, how much on a scale of 1 to 10? This is a really good question because I feel like no one really thinks of this, but I'd say that it definitely can. If you play really early or late, then you're probably gonna be tired and have issues concentrating. There's also the less obvious factor of your team being worse the later it gets in the day. If you compare playing a game at 5 PM to midnight, then you're probably gonna have a lot more tired, drunk, and overall less serious players the later it gets. There's of course a chance of the enemies being worse as well at this time, but I still wouldn't recommend making a habit of playing late, since it'll usually make for an overall worse experience. So I'd probably say that your performance goes down from a 10 being usual to around a 7 when it's too late, and your overall experience goes from a 10 to a 5 later in the night. The best time to play would probably be somewhere around afternoon or early evening. What do I think is the best way to improve mechanics like movement and aim? Let's start off with aim, and for that it's important to understand that most people's look on aim is totally wrong. It's common to think that the person who wins the most firefights and get the most kills has the best aim. But the truth is that movement and crosshair placement is what decides who wins a duel most of the time. You have two main types of aim: micro adjustments and flicks. To improve these, there's nothing better than a set aim routine using either the range or an aim trainer. But if you want to improve at everything and do it in the most practical way possible, then I'd say focus more on your crosshair placement and movement, as that's going to be what really decides how many fights you win. Even if you think you have good crosshair placement, you probably don't. If you were to record yourself pushing a site, then you'd be more than likely to miss a lot of the positions people could be sitting in. And if you do that on a regular basis, then it really doesn't matter how good your aim is, because you're gonna get killed before you even have the time to flick. So have some sort of a warm-up and aim routine that you do for your micro adjustments and flicks, but focus more on playing the actual game and deathmatching a lot. I also think VOD reviewing could be really good at seeing how you peek and how you move around, to really optimize your movement. You're probably making a lot of movement mistakes, so to see if you are, then check out the video on the screen right now. See it there.